Hi folks, today I've got a quick look at one of these ChinaHobbyLine batteries. I've heard lots of good things about these and I've been keen to get my hands on one for a little while now. Unfortunately for people in New Zealand, we aren't allowed to have batteries shipped to us via air, so our options are really limited. And other than buying from a local supplier, the only option that we have that I'm aware of is to get things shipped from Hobby King via their Australian warehouse, and they come via boat. I've had batteries take a long time. I was keen to get some of these shipped to Australia. I'm going on holiday later in the year. I was going to get them shipped to where I'm going to stay and then bring them back with me. I can bring 2 back per person. There's 3 of us going, so that would be 6 batteries. And that's, it's an okay way to do it. But then I discovered that there is a company, a quad company here in New Zealand that sells them. And that made it real easy for me to get my hands on a couple. So I've done that. And today we'll have a look. So it's just a plain box. And inside, the battery just comes in a little bubble bag. Nothing overly flash, but that's fine. You just get rid of the box and you get rid of the bag, and it's basically what's inside it that's of interest. And so here's the battery itself. This is a 70C battery. You can get 55 and you can get 100C. Not sure how accurate that C rating is. I think you take your chances with that, but that seems to be pretty average. I think 70C these days seems like a reasonable size battery. It's not overly small. I think it's probably a little bit heavy for its size, but I'll get the scales out and we'll have a look. So this one is 175 grams. It's for 1300. This is a Turnigy Graphene 1500. Admittedly, it's got half of a battery condom on it, but let's just see what that weighs. That's 209. Battery condom 7 grams, so 181 with a battery condom. Just to do a comparison, these are Hyperion batteries. These are really good. I really like these. This is an 1800. These are silicon graphene. So this is an 1800. $194 with the condom, and 1400, 164. So the 1400 Hyperion, 164, 1300 ChinaHobbyLine, 174. So these, for their size and for their weight, and these are high voltage as well, whereas these aren't. So these really do give you a lot for your size. They're an expensive battery. This one here, the 1800, is approximately twice the price of this 1300. It outperforms it in every way, but if you're not after out and out performance, I suspect that these ChinaHobbyLines are going to do the job for you. They actually perform reasonably well. I've got some video footage that I shot when I flew my first one the other day. I didn't push it too hard, so it's not terribly exciting, but it shows that you give it a bit of throttle and your quad will go. So I'll chuck that on at the end of the video. So let's just get some size comparison. So width-wise, these are 34 mils. They are approximately 36 millimeters tall, and you're looking at 76 millimeters long. Just to compare the 1800 Hyperion, bearing in mind that this has got the battery condom on, you're looking at 32.5 millimeters tall, 35 millimeters wide, and 92 millimeters long. And you can see that the 2G graphene is a much bigger battery, and it's obviously heavier too, and this is a 1500. I'm just charging the other battery that I got at the moment. I've discharged it to, I've set my charger to discharge and let it discharge down to the terminal voltage, which was 12 point something volts, which is probably lower than I should normally let it discharge to when I was flying, but that's what my charger was set to by default, so I've run with that. And I'm just charging it now to get a feel for how much milliamps was put back into it. And I've done it again because the first one that I did, I charged it and it put in well over 1300 milliamps, but I had no record of that, so I figured that the best thing to do would be to redo it and actually take a photo and show you just how much milliamp hours actually goes back into the battery. So I'll chuck that in a minute. My overall feeling with the battery is that for the money, they're a good battery. They fly reasonably well. They're a graphene, so that means that they don't sag, and I can attest to that, because the one battery that I have flown, it went and it went and it went, and then all of a sudden I realized that I was under 14 volts. I was down to 13.9, and I very quickly had to come back in and land, and I had no idea that it was that low. I was just flying and I wasn't keeping an eye on my OSD, and all of a sudden I realized that I was under voltage and had to come in. And so that just goes to show that these things don't sag. Now obviously it's a new battery, that may change over time, but for now, beautiful, and I do recommend these. Good value for money. Obviously if you live outside of New Zealand and you're not paying the shipping cost, then they're going to be even better value for money. These were a touch over, I bought two, these were a touch over 40 bucks New Zealand each to get sourced locally. So, you know, that's pretty average for battery prices here, unfortunately. But obviously if you're outside of New Zealand, if in the US or wherever, then those battery prices are going to be even better.
Too much strips. Yeah.